Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Melos Machina. We hope that you have had a fantastic week, and we are back again for episode 44 as we continue our adventures in Jowdek. One quick thing, you might notice we are without our wonderful artificer, Andy, tonight. Z is unfortunately not here this evening, but she's here in spirit. Z, we miss you so much, and don't worry, we won't let anything happen to the best boy. How y'all doing?
Good.
So
Doing
good.
good.
A little punchy tonight. For
Yeah.
a little punchy. Great.
Yeah, you guys, you got the giggles. We'll get don't get them out and just see what happens.
Hey, Lark, I hear you have a...
Like, did you blow someone up?
Hey, buddy.
How's the violence doing?
Hi, everyone. How are you? We missed you last week. Thank you all so very much for your understanding for us not being here. I don't believe we have any other announcements except the continuing announcements of our continuing sponsor of our continuing series, Melos Machina Cantrip Candles. Ben.
Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome, Ben.
Melos Machina is brought to you by Cantrip Candles. Cantrip Candles is a Los Angeles-based candle company making candles that are scented to immerse you in your TTRPGs and games in real life. If you need a little studying, you can use Library Scriptorium, or if you're writing whatever you're going to write, for a show that you're on. Or if you need to take a walk in the woods, you can with Cantrip Candles. You can use our code, use the link in chat first. That's our affiliate link. And then use our code APAC to get 10% off of your order and tell them that we sent you. They smell amazing. They're all hand-poured. They're all 100% soy and smell so good. The spring and summer seasonals are currently out with some new things coming down the pipeline in like a week or so. But yeah, go get Summer Plains, Figwood Orchard, and then Secret Secrets next week.
Yeah. And this is the last batch of Figwood Orchard that's ever going to be, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So if you like Figwood Orchard, and I do,
Yeah.
Last
Sweet Fig. Sweet Fig Farmhouse is the new baby on the block. Old new baby. It's been resurrected.
Yeah, it's like a little baby in a diaper, but with a scythe. It's
Yeah.
Now introducing the new BBEG of the campaign.
I was saying,
The
that's
new
an anime somewhere.
BBB. Because it's a BB.
But then when they monologue, they just wax poetic. Way too long.
Not everyone gets a monologue. Definitely not this one.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Yeah, we're doing
Finally
great.
got that right.
This episode's gonna be lit.
Before we get into the episode, if you would like to help support the channel, the monetary ways that you can do so, you can subscribe to us, you can become a member, or you can head on over to our Patreon. All of our members over there and on wherever you are watching or listening, get some behind-the-scenes stuff, and you will be invited to join us in a post-show hangout. We're going to be over in our Discord for that after the session. And if you're just looking for some free ways to support us, you can give us a like, you can give us a follow, and tell your friends. But with that being said, are you all ready for another episode of Melos Machina? When last we met our adventurers, they had an impromptu sleepover at Lord Janob's party after enduring him both the evening before and the morning after for a tour of the gardens. You made your way back to the Tired Tinker, where you got ready for the rest of the day with the plan to head over to the collection to check in and see what might be going on with one Lark Calder. However, while most of the party was getting prepared, Aaron received a letter that had been waiting for him at the tavern, instructing him to meet at an address immediately. Aaron, leaping out of a window and making his way to the outer wall, the last ring of the district, found a small, empty house, apparently shielded by magic, and reported to a small, scrying sphere You were then given further instructions, as well as the safe house, to do with as you please. Aaron returned to the party, where there was discussion as to secrets.
Interrogation.
And then you all made your way towards the bridge as it was being rebuilt and repaired. And now find yourselves about half a block away from the collection, the same building that Aaron had entered the night of the fire. As you are all approaching.
Well,
I think we might want to I'll just kind of look you all kind of like in the eyes and then I'll get a psychic link going to Finn, Aiken, and Andy for 1 hour.
okay.
I think the plan was for me and Andy to proceed first and maybe get a lay of the place before anybody else interacts. So maybe a few minutes of just the two of us, and then we might be able to relay information back to you or cue you in if anything else needs dealing with.
Sure.
We can stay nearby.
We should probably split here so as to not be seen together.
Yeah.
Just above table. Did we book the inn for tonight as well?
We did.
Did, but we kind of left it to a I think we were gonna be like, let's figure out how long it takes us to get the cart.
Yeah, and whether
Oh,
whether
okay.
or not
Stuff.
we crash at the safe
Mhm.
house versus the inn.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
we just kind of had both
But,
had it for
has-
safety.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
For one last night.
Okay. We don't know what we're walking into. As far as he knows, there's business to be had. So,
Absolutely. And what business is that?
well, if memory serves correctly, there was some rather interesting arcane artifacts in the collection on display, and, well, curiosity struck.
I also know you had mentioned looking for a map.
Yes, precisely. A man able to source such a rare collection of Kymordian ale, Kymordian liquor, might have a extensive knowledge of the continent itself.
I
And
mean, it came from somewhere.
precisely, you can't source that without traveling beyond the walls of Venture. So,
Right.
Dorothy, yes, perhaps there might be some information regarding
It's possible,
the land
but
that you-
I'm mostly just sort of curious to see one. But
Well, we will get you one once we get back to Sarah's Main. But if he's dealing in pre-enclosure goods, he might have something that the Aether God would absolutely not unrestrict for us. So, definitely worth checking out.
and just to make sure I remember what we're talking about here when we're talking about, the pre-enclosure. The Ashen Veil happened, and then it just kind of everybody. That's when the enclosure happened.
The survivors walled
Yeah.
themselves in. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why it's so impressive that this ale still exists, and he's able to find some. So,
Right.
do with that information that you will.
Did you see anything actually useful in there?
There's a cloak of some kind, some boots stood out, a few items were concealed behind small boxes that I did not have time to unseal. There's a number of things that had magical properties to them. Did not have a chance to investigate them further without disturbing or alerting anybody of my presence in there.
Well, how about this? And I kind of gesture my hands outwardly to try to draw attention away from the mage hand that I now have reaching into my coat and pulling my coin purse, and then subtly it's sliding over into your coat. You know, just in case you see anything.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Absolutely.
Sleight of magic.
You know, I'm so good at this. It's a wizard. Here we go.
You're using your mage hand to do this?
Correct.
Are you proficient with sleight of hand?
Absolutely not.
I will give you proficiency with this since you're using your, because it's dexterity, but it's using arcane.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Cool. Terrible 15.
Yeah, you feel as though you did a pretty good job with it.
There's a lot in there, so you know, before you make any big purchases, maybe check in.
Sure, yeah, okay.
But I still owe you for the parchment and
Oh.
covenants, so
That's kind of you, Finn, but,
Hey! Hey!
Oh!
As you're all talking, you look up and you see, jogging towards you, Zach.
Oh my gosh.
does he look just like dead to the bone,
He,
beat down, tired? Or?
Is covered in like
Buddy.
ash and soot, and is. Hey!
Calm down.
Oh, okay.
Take a breather.
No, this is perfect. I thought I'd have to go so much farther to find you all.
Please tell me you slept.
No. Well,
Whoa.
yes, but didn't mean to.
Oh boy.
Hi. I need help. I need a hand. So, I was hoping to find you all and see if you wouldn't be able to help me out. Bodkin still hasn't woken up.
Oh.
huh?
Oh no.
Yeah, no, he's out. So it's just been me doing all the work.
Well, you're certainly earning a keep.
I am very much.
If he doesn't give you that, that studying position after all this,
No, don't worry. I think I've got it.
Yeah.
I think you do too.
But yeah, I was just hoping that I could get someone to help me with this. I know, Finn, you were helpful with the bookkeeping, but
Sure.
Andy, as he looks over to Andy, I just really could use some smithing help at this point.
Yeah.
As Andy looks at him and says, "Oh, sure. I mean, I know we were about to be doing some things, but
It's okay.
Okay.
I know you were sort of concerned about Chauncey being sort of obvious in this moment anyway, so this is a way you can be helpful in being, a conservator and, also not, feeling anxious about it.
great. But I know, what we thinking of using Chauncey as a bargaining
Not
chip,
necessarily a bargaining chip, but
like a showing our hands sort of
a
thing.
demonstration of purpose, or...
I have an idea. It's risky.
In your
But-
head, I like the sound of that.
Andy, you go. We'll take care of this. Take Chauncey. Chauncey is very helpful in the shop, thanks to you, Zachary. So,
I mean, thanks to she does great. You do great, Andy. Okay, Zach.
and you'll be more helpful down that than I would. There's only so much paperwork, so.
Yeah, it's just the making of stuff now. Most of it's going out, but it's in the. I guess this has something to do with rebuilding.
Yeah.
So.
That seems important.
It's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Have
You are
you
doing
eaten?
good work.
I've got a system down. It's probably not healthy, but
Andy, make sure he eats.
oh, I will.
Yeah.
And sleeps too. I know you'll make sure he sleeps.
Okay, well, if you need me,
I'll give a little chime in Andy's head. I've got you for about an hour, so... if
as
anything-
she thinks back.
Mm.
Oh, right.
Mhm.
Right.
Worst case scenario, we can send you a message, or I can send you a bird.
Okay. That sounds good. Well, okay. Well, Zachary, if you want to lead the way. Right. Hi. Bye.
Hi.
Goodbye.
I was expecting to do a lot more running. Okay.
You saved some time.
I did. As they walk away, you hear Andy saying, "So Bodkin's still like, well, he's drinking. Like I'm giving him water, and it's like he's taking it down." And the voices fade.
All right.
I mean, we don't need to have an inn if we're curious about what he sells.
And I mean, if anyone would be going to look for magical items in a magical shop, it might be two people like us.
Precisely.
And if we do need an extra thread, well, hopefully we don't have to go there, but
Don't.
You're going to be okay, and if you need to call
Be
for
fine.
help, you can call to Riken.
Yeah.
And we're going to be right outside anyway, so don't worry about it.
excellent. Well, you're just hanging out here?
I mean, we'll find something to do or make
I bet
ourselves
there are
inconspicuous.
street meats.
I bet there are street meats. I bet there's street vendors.
I liked the street meats last time.
Let's just remember, this guy potentially sent explosives to people. So, just be on the lookout.
Sure.
Eyes peeled for anything.
Oh, yes.
Reconnaissance.
Mm-hmm.
Reconnaissance, sir. We'll see where it goes from there.
Trust your guts.
I do.
I mentally to Aaron ask, do other people see us thinking to each other? Does it look weird?
I think it takes a certain physical concentration to keep your face still while exercising thoughts externally.
Meanwhile, both of you are silent for about 10 seconds.
Looking very awkward, just like trying to be natural. Right, so make it to a minimum. And,
Yes. If you are engaged fully in conversation with someone, try not to bifurcate your mind.
All right. Pal, we're going to just tuck you in here, and well, hopefully you can still hear. High alert, please. As I tuck the spellbook inside the jacket and double chain it in there so it won't fall out. And look to Aaron, and shall we?
Yes, let's meet in this lock, Clyda. Calder.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Will do.
If you need anything,
Yeah. As we walk up, and as we approach the front, I think privately to Finn, I'll just say, there are some small gems that give off some evocation magic. Not sure what they do, but if I understand the rudimentary signs of the arcane, they could be volatile. They also could be nothing. But
All right.
also,
I like the sound of that.
if Locke flushes at simple questions, we might have to take sterner measures. And I have a plan,
I'll follow your lead.
and I think it will work.
All right.
Okay.
My heart's like beating way harder than it would be if Andy were here. But seizing that last breath as we kind of step through the door.
Yeah. Oh, how much gold did you give me?
My whole coin purse
Jeez.
containing somewhere in the neighborhood of 178 gold.
All right.
A lot of that is platinum.
Yeah, okay. Just for now, but since you're around, I'll keep an eye on it.
I'm watching.
Yeah. I would never steal from my friend. I'll walk up to the door and
As you step
give it a
inside,
shot.
Aaron, you step into the familiar, now bright with the daylight as opposed to flickering by firelight, interior of the collection. That same large display case is in the main section of the room. Behind it, you see a clean-faced humanoid, about mid-30s. He has dark brown hair that comes down to about his ears, that is soft and wavy. He's wearing a black leather vest with a jacket over top. And as you step in, he just looks up, smile on his face. Well, hello there. Welcome to the collection. What can I do for you today?
Is it the same voice from the recording? As soon as I've been anticipating ever since I heard his name, and I want to see if I can
Same for
memory
me,
match.
Same.
Each of you
accent.
give me. I'm gonna call it a history check. It's got a low DC, but it's been a while since you've listened to it.
Yep.
Is he cute though?
Soft 20.
Oh wow. That 3 turns into a 10 with my history. So
Okay.
Dang.
Finn, it sounds pretty familiar. Aaron, not only he said, "Well, hello there," the exact same way.
Cool. Okay. Game on! I've been wanting this moment forever. Okay. We'll kind of walk in, make sure the door closes behind us, and kind of give a perusal of the space. I'm like, oh, good afternoon. Good morning. Sorry.
Whatever time of day it might be, it's been an awfully weird couple of days. So
It has been, yes.
we'll just say a better day to you.
Is this your shop?
This is my collection, yes.
And you are?
Calder.
Ah, okay.
this is quite the shop here.
Well, thank you. It's I like to keep good care of it. Damn near lost it a couple days ago, but
It must have been harrowing seeing the damage so close to your place of business.
I'd be honest if it didn't make me a little nervous.
You weren't here, were you?
No, I was not.
You live elsewhere?
I do, yes.
Good. Some people live above or below their place of business, and in some sense it makes sense for security, but, well...
Lucky you, I guess.
Yes, precisely.
Lucky me.
Do you mind if we have a look around?
Please, if you have any questions, I specialize in the curious and the rare antiques, you might
Sure,
say.
sure,
So
sure.
if there's anything that catches your eye, let me know. Happy to talk to you about it.
Okay.
Well, consider my curiosity piqued.
Do you... Forgive me, we've only been in town a few days, and we're getting a look of the whole city. Do you see much business from average customers, or are there certain fields that you specialize in for those, who work for the
Certainly.
Citadel or for the Order?
Oh, no, not... I'm what you might call a bit of a specialty shop, where my wares are a little more pricey, but I do well enough.
Okay.
Well, we do fairly well ourselves, so hopefully we are fit for your clientele.
I mean, you look, you've got the look of the sort of person who might be able to afford something like this.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
I made that mistake a long time ago, and I'll never do it again.
Right. There are a couple of specifics we're looking for, but we'd love to hear kind of what you're excited about.
Well, I'm excited about everything that comes in. Mostly, I'm excited to find new things and learn what I can about them.
Me too.
I think my eyes will flick back to the cloak that I recall.
As you look back, the cloak is not there anymore.
All right. No cloak. Okay then.
I'd like to just kind of start window shopping and browsing, and like peel off from Aaron and just kind of take in what the wares on
Sure.
display.
Most everything on display is in or around the case. The interior of the shop is well maintained, very clean, and you can see has looks like it's recently been scrubbed down. but it's a very comfortable place with stained leather interiors. You see a couple of red leather chairs, or that look comfortable enough. But the main area of items are the counter behind which Calder is standing. Inside, you see a pair of goggles. You see a small box. You see what looks like a glass orb with a metal ring around it. You also see a clear, looks like a clear crystal, a big hunk of a rock. And lastly, you see a single, looks like a pretty large crossbow bolt. On top of the counter, pushed off to the side, there is a pair of boots that seem to be gold and ivory trim.
Is there anything that I might recognize the purpose of, or?
Give me a quick arcane check.
Yeah. Wow, another 3, but that's a 13 this time.
Oh, dang.
Expertise.
You do know one pretty commonly without needing any sort of identifying. The glass sphere with a metallic ring around it, it's used to pinpoint direction.
Like a magic compass, not an actual compass.
Yeah, not
right?
an actual
Okay.
compass.
Yeah.
You know this to be an orb of direction. Essentially, wherever you are, you can hold it, and it will, when activated, always point north, no matter what.
That's an orb of direction. That could be very useful.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I mean, honestly, all of this stuff looks very useful. I don't even know what it's
Man knows his stuff.
Well, no, just some of it. Certainly
It's-
not as well as someone the likes of you.
No, but more than the average person, I'd say. I think you're one of the first people to come in and be able to point out that's what that is and that's what it does.
You know.
You have any?
but,
What might you do if you don't mind me asking?
well, travelers right now. It seems a little waylaid here, longer than expected. But we've had our fair bit of scuffles and, honestly, some things to find our way around or to protect ourselves. Definitely in the market.
All right.
Speaking of, with the orb of direction, a map also would be helpful. I know that territory out here is pretty uncharted, but
That it is.
somebody like you wouldn't have anything like that, either modern or pre-enclosure.
Now, pre-enclosure, that would have been a good one to find. Unfortunately, I don't have anything of the more modern variety. But, yeah, pre-enclosure map, that's something I've been on the lookout for a while. It's never come across my table, unfortunately, but
Right. Hard to imagine the parchment even surviving that long. So,
you'd be surprised what some of those things can do.
yeah.
Where do you get these things from?
Well, I tend to buy them off of people who have come across them and are looking to make a little bit of money. As you said, you do some traveling, you do some scuffles. Frankly, people like you.
You wouldn't happen to have anything that's consumable, would you? I see lots of things you can hold, but is there anything of like a potion variety or some sort of herbal thing that could be incensed that would aid in a magical way?
Sure, fresh out of potions, unfortunately. Had a couple come through, but those tend to go pretty quick. They easier on the price point, and people looking for a quick bit of fun.
Sorry, Finn, if you don't mind, I'm curious about what these boots are designed for. Seems like a fancy pair of footwear, but I've never heard of
Oh, they are.
boots aiding in a magical way.
Well, these little guys, you put these on, click your heels together, will be real fast.
Ooh. Like, for foot race?
Yeah, if you want to win a foot race, this will guarantee though that'll happen.
Oh.
we brought enough coin. The goggles, the gems.
It's all right, y'all.
the-
Deep breath. It's fine.
Sorry, it is like a kid in a magic shop, so
It's all good. You look like a kid in the magic shop.
don't judge a book by its cover, right? This one is that. Aaron, I'm getting a little excited.
Yes, let's take your time. We're in no rush today, Finn.
That's true. Well, we're stuck here after all. The goggles. What do they do?
Oh, these will let you see in the dark. Anyone who,
Don't say.
yep. If you happen to be one of us poor folk who weren't blessed with the sight of the elves,
Yeah, it's tough having elven friends.
He never lets me here without it.
He doesn't like it when I hold on to his coattails, so.
it's all right. I've never heard the end of it from my elven friends either.
Right. Just so we know kind of like what our budget is, how much for those?
For the goggles, that's gonna be 500 gold pieces.
Ooh.
And for the boots.
The boots, that's gonna be just a little bit more. Those, about 4 times more. Those are gonna be 2,000.
Just a little, right.
Would you like just the show and tell?
Why not?
You want to get to everything on your own?
We'll just ask about everything. Maybe more efficient this way.
Well, you've known about the orb, the boots, the goggles. This one here, he grabs the crystal. This here is a gem of brightness. If you're still not able to see in the dark, this will let everyone see. It's able to light up a room real well, and depending on what you do with it, can also blind a few people.
Wow.
And then these last two, pulls out the box and the crossbow bolt, are a very similar variety. As he opens up the box, you see 3 much smaller crossbow bolts that appear to have almost looks like wires wrapping around the shaft of them. So this one to the left, as he points to the single one, this here is a grapple bolt. If fire this thing out of a crossbow, it's going to detach itself in such a way that it will affix to a wall and essentially transforms into a guaranteed connection point. These 3, however, these 3, if you'd rather just entrap somebody, these are net bolts. Fire this thing out, and as soon as it's left the crossbow, they transform into a net and will ensnare whatever you're aiming for.
Wow.
Now these 2 here are of more older Jowdeck creation. We're still able to make these, but they have that sort of magical technology bit to them. Perfectly legal, I assure you.
I was just about to ask. I don't want to be leaving here with anybody watching my every move.
No. Well, in case anyone is watching you, that's what these 3 bolts are for. But all jokes aside, everything here does fall under the guidelines of the order. We've got no issues whatsoever with them.
You don't have to worry about us. You said your name was Calder.
Mm-hmm.
Were you supposed to be at a party last night?
Do I know you?
No. But we do have a shared acquaintance in Lord Janna and Lady Elaine.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, Lady Elaine is actually, we got in a little scuffle getting some things back for her. So I think Janna invited us to the party, and, you sent quite a gift.
I did indeed.
Not to pry. Do you have more of that?
I unfortunately do not. That was the last of my reserve, and I thought it was a good gift for letting down an old friend of mine.
Well, remind me to invite you to my next party, and please don't show up. That's fine. I didn't expect you to have more. That was quite remarkable.
You got to try some, huh?
Oh boy, did we.
It was exquisite.
Never
Memorable.
anything like that.
It was real good.
How did you find it? How is it still preserved?
Yeah, something that old must have been incredibly difficult to source.
Well, like I said, you'd be surprised what survives out there. And you know, I've seen a lot of strange and unique things come across my table, and well, I've seen a lot of really valuable things come across my table, and something like that, can't pass that up.
But you can't pass it on, apparently.
Can very much. That's how I make a living.
Well, you seem to do quite well. Yeah. Is there like wall decor, or like artwork, or any curios out on display, or is
Sure.
it pretty much all contained to the?
There are some, like there's curtains covering the windows. They seem to be a similar red to the cushion of the chair. There's some artwork, and you see one piece that is it almost looks like an abstract piece of vibrant deep blues and purples that are swirling around a center point, and looks as though there's some explosions of color off to the sides of it. There is what appears to be a landscape of Venture, most notably the bridge.
I'll kind of split off and just muse and then take in the artwork and just separate for a second, give Aaron some space.
Calder, troubling times as they are, do you ever get people looking to relieve themselves of problematic items?
How so do you mean?
Sometimes you stumble across something you're not supposed to have.
Yeah, the sort of thing that is not in keeping with the order.
Precisely. The scope and the scale of the recent attack tells me that whoever was behind it was capable of immensely dangerous things. Now, I don't understand. I know your shop here is in proximity to the bridge, but you seem to have some sort of knowledge of things beyond the mundane. Do you have any idea how they might have accomplished something so large?
I mean, there's a lot of things that can do what they did. Mostly at this point, it would be speculation on my part.
It's not gonna have any lingering effects on the city, will it?
Of the destruction that happened?
I mean, in your professional opinion.
I would say without a doubt there's going to be some lingering effects. We're going to be feeling the ripples of that shockwave for years to come.
You might need to have this painting redone.
It's a good one.
I don't mean to imply anything.
No,
but,
dark humor. It's good. I like it.
the attack so close to your shop, they weren't targeting you, were they?
Oh God, I hadn't even.
Sorry, I'm sorry to imply anything. Now that's clearly they were targeting the city as a whole. So, good luck on your part.
Oh, thank you. Again, I was very lucky to avoid it. That would have been. Listen, it was an incredibly costly thing that happened to the bridge, and it's going to take a lot of time and resources to repair it. All I'm going to say is that if it had happened a couple hundred feet farther down, it would have been a lot more costly, and also to me.
That's right.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Just to see if... I don't know. I'm getting that buzz, and I'd like to insight check that little line of thought, thinking, like... it's a 9.
9?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems as though He's making a clear point that he would have lost a lot of gold,
Gotcha.
and not just in his building himself, or the building itself.
Okay.
There wasn't any sort of smirk, or you didn't detect any sort of double entendre in there.
Okay.
To answer your earlier question, that you know, I do buy and sell a whole variety of things, but everything that I pass by, that passes through the collection, I always make sure is on the up and up.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I just feel like I've heard your voice before.
Well, I do make my way around the city.
We went to the party last night. That was clear to Lord Jenna, but I don't know. Forgive me, I'm having a bit of a deja vu moment, so...
Well, that's odd.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll pass.
Turn from the painting, and you are a very friendly face, and I definitely don't think I've met you before, but I'm glad to have now.
It was a
Do you,
pleasure.
do you
What'd y'all say your names were, by the way?
Finn?
Aaron.
Finn, Aaron.
And,
Pleasure to meet you both.
Mr. Calder? Or
Yeah, Calder.
Calder, right. Yeah, great to make your acquaintance. I would much like those goggles, but I think we might have to get a little more work under our belts to afford it. Do you have anything in the lower price range?
Sure. Aside from that, the bolts are going to be the cheapest, but I'll work my way down. From there, the gem of brightness, that's going to be 200 gold.
All right.
The orbit direction that you saw is going to be that's going to run you 100 gold. Then for the bolts there, the single grappling bolt's going to be 20, and each of the net bolts is going to be 10 gold. Now, if there was I'll also say if there's something that's piquing your interest that you're hoping to get, as you said, and you've made your way about. If you have anything if you've come across anything in your journeys that you think might be of interest to me, I'd be happy to take a look at it and do a little bit of back and forth. See if we can't make some money to get something.
I do not mean any offense in this, but in terms of your capabilities to identify or to figure out where something might have come from, what is your training?
Well, my training is mostly self-taught, I'd say. I learn as much as I can by seeing what I can find and figuring out what it does. I'm not much of a tinkerer. I wouldn't call myself by no means a conservator or anything like that, but I've just always had a knack for learning and remembering things and just figuring it out.
Right. Well, I don't know how much we have to trade. We do have lots of experience and knowledge, and we've been around the block a little bit. You don't trade in information, do you?
No, I can't say as I do.
Didn't figure. Definitely not the price of those goggles there.
Well, that'd be some mighty interesting information if you had it.
I'll just kind of casually turn back to the painting and just like I'm thinking. As soon as my back is turned, mentally whisper to Aaron, I do have something he'd be very interested in taking a look in.
I'll just kind of like tap my heel, the boot of my heel on the ground, and like a double tap to give to try and send an affirmation.
Do I need an insight to know if I got that?
But then I'll kind of just quickly think back. It would be a show of force.
Is that
Not
mentally?
yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Mentally, it would be a show of force. He might take it as blackmail.
I'm gonna kind of turn back from the walls if I've made up my mind on something. And look, Calder, say somebody did come across something and they were worried about it, maybe not being on the up and up. Well, if you're making sure everything coming through your collection's on the up and up, I don't know if, well, what would you do in that case?
Well, I think the best course of action, if something ever comes through here that maybe doesn't belong on the outside, is first to figure out the intentions of the person bringing it in, and from there, report it to the Order.
Right. Good to know.
Yeah. Temple's not too very far from here, and let's just say I have them on speed dial.
Right. With the boots.
I knew I liked you.
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid I don't have anything that would interest you that much. Certainly nothing worth the same as those goggles there, or even to make up the difference. The direction could be useful, or the brightness. But
Well,
the crossbow bolts.
The bolts are intriguing in that they don't come with any device to fire them.
Oh, a
You-
crossbow?
Yes.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of shops in town that can provide that if you need.
Just any old crossbow.
Any old crossbow. It's the bolt that does the magic.
Right.
And both can be fired from the same weapon?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry. Visually, I wasn't sure if one was meant for like a heavy crossbow versus a hand crossbow. So
They're both like the grapple bolt is definitely heavier.
sure.
But looks like each of these could be fit either in a heavy or a light crossbow. The grapple bolt probably not in a hand crossbow. The net bolts might be able to be done in a hand crossbow.
Gotcha.
We've run across some nasty creatures out there, some big spiders. How would the net take down a giant spider?
Well, the net will take down quite a few big things.
All right. I mean, that could have been useful a few days ago. Not sure how much climbing we're going to be doing, but the net bolt's interesting. The orbit direction, interesting. Anything piquing your interest, Aaron?
Well, it's a question of what we could use and what can we afford. How much were the bolts again, and the gem?
The grapple bolt is 20 gold. The net bolts are 10 gold apiece. The gem of brightness was 200, and the orb was 100.
You know who would enjoy a little extra firepower? The folks down at the docks.
Down in the pit?
No, the sailors that we met on the way here.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yes. The ones on the lock jumper were our friends, not the ones on the Fairbanks.
Yeah, Hutch and Captain Thielsen.
Yeah, they were having some security issues. I think they might appreciate a little bit of ammunition to wrangle a couple different assailants. Times on the river are getting tough these days, apparently.
So I've heard. So I take it y'all probably not from Venture then, huh?
We're coming up from Riversmeet.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
About how long were we down there for?
Week or two.
I forget how long I actually was there.
You were there much longer, right?
A little bit more, yeah.
Yeah.
But, it's time to head home, so trying to ensure we get there safely.
Where's home for you?
Sarah's Manor.
Fantastic. Well, imagine it's going to be kind of hard to head home right now.
About that, do you have any idea how long this curfew will last? Or
None whatsoever.
and everybody just hunkers down.
That's what it's sounding like. It's certainly the first time I've had this happen. And let me tell you, it puts a damper on a business that deals with in and out.
That was gonna be my next question, actually.
Yep, I mean, I got a small stock here, so luckily, I've got something for some people.
Is the shipping lane also closed down?
Sounds like it.
Maybe the gem and the crossbow bolts. Fair enough.
Let me think on the gem. That's a big purchase. We
Okay.
just walked in, and the bolts we can get. If we can turn them for a profit with our friends, that would help. But I mean, look, if we could buy it all, we would.
I don't doubt it.
And if we're not going anywhere, we might be back.
I imagine you might.
You open every day?
I try to be. If I'm not open, then that means I'm probably out doing something, and I'll be back when I'm back.
All right. Well, how many of the bolts do you think we should get?
10 apiece? Why not all 3?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
We'll see if the crew wants them, and if not, they might come in handy.
Sure.
I'll,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you're getting all 3, I'll throw the box in for you. You can gift wrap it for your friends down on the boats.
How kind. The box isn't magic, right?
Not at all.
Figured. Can't hurt to check, though.
No, it cannot.
Well, this is quite a shop. Quite a lineup of items. You don't, please don't take offense if this is well below, clientele list, but you don't have just basic kind of components, non-magical gems or anything of the sort?
No, nothing like that.
That's all right.
Most of mine tends to be in curio, things that have been crafted over time, things that have been lost, things that have been found.
Figured, yeah. Do you know anywhere in town to get that kind of item?
Let's see, are we looking for specifically gems, or are we looking for,
Calder, I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm just looking.
well, dang, it's a pretty big town.
We got time.
That is true. Well, if you're looking for fancy gems, anything for that, Hawthorne's is, he's got a lot of the fine jewelry. Herbs and whatnot, usually can find stuff like that in the open market.
All right.
But, yeah, aside from that, things of the spellcasting variety is what I'm hearing, huh?
Well, I'm a bit of a dabbler myself. The do-it-yourself, figure it out yourself, which means I burn through a lot of waste. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, Temple's always been a pretty good place for getting at least paper and ink is my understanding.
Noted. Well, thank you. And I don't suppose that the usual attractions might be operating as normal, but is there anything in the city that tourists must see?
Well, the one that I always recommend is definitely shut down right now. But other than that, gardens are nice. Take a ride on the Skytram if you hadn't already. Then,
Fortunately,
We've done that a few times.
all right. Well, it's pretty good views.
excellent view of the explosions.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yes, the encounter was quite shocking.
Well, all right.
Yeah. Sorry, we're a bit rattled still. It's been quite a few days.
Yeah, aside from that, there's good eat and good drink to be had, but yep, you can't. I don't think you can go out to the cliffside, or not the cliffside, but the cliffside cidery. So that's out of the walls right now.
Oh, that's a shame. Is there a place to get that in town?
You should be able to pretty much any of the taverns.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you for the tip, and thank you very much for your patience and walking us through the show and tell. I do hope we come back.
I hope you come back as well. If I don't see you before this whole thing lifts, and you do find yourself with anything of any interest, feel free, come on by and be happy to take a look at it. If it's something that you're looking to part with, if it's something that you want to keep, I completely understand. Been a few things that I've liked to kept for myself as well. But yeah, otherwise, it's been a pleasure, and remember to breathe, Finn.
Right. Right. Yeah, thank you.
Actually, before we head out, I wouldn't mind if you helped me identify something that I have come across.
Sure, I'd be happy to take a look at it.
I'll just kind of unclick the boat
Hmm.
and just kind of set it down on the table or on the counter in front of him. This was floating on the river between between River's Meet and here, and snagged it, but not really quite sure what it does. Can you suss that out?
Give me a quick deception.
For sure. I love these. 19.
Okay. All right, floating on the lake, you say?
Just bobbing in the water.
Might be a lucky find. Might just be another box to put some bolts in. Let's take a look at this. You mind?
By all means.
All right, as he reaches over and takes a hold of it. Oh, that is fascinating. Yep, definitely a new make on an older design, looks like. Huh. Yeah, it's one of them folding boats, isn't it? You don't know what it is.
Oh.
All right. We see these words here written. Don't say those unless you're out in the open.
I told you not to read the glyph. Sorry, I could tell there was something going on with that, and I know better.
No?
So, certain objects have trigger words?
Yeah, a few of them do. If you say the right word at the right time, or usually within a range or while holding it, kind of awakens the magic within it.
Gotcha.
Even if the magic is just simply triggering a little device.
How does one go about using it safely then?
Well, usually with something like this, you know what it is when you get it, or you experiment with it. I've seen a couple of these come across my path before, so luckily, I happen to know about it. But yeah, so to use this safely, just make sure you don't have to be around water, but I definitely recommend that that's what you are around when you use it.
Mm-hmm.
And you say this word here, it's going to fold out into a boat. Pretty small, I imagine. And then say this other word, and it's going to fold back up.
Is it rare? Is it something of value?
Oh, it's definitely a value.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's I put this at it's an uncommon item. We don't see a whole lot of these, but a couple of them are out and about. I'd say it's for people like us, like, fascinating to see. But like I said, I've seen a couple of these come and go.
Out of curiosity, you said newer design and older model. In your line of work, is the newer more precious or the older?
Definitely the older. Older's more
Figured.
precious in that that's also, in addition to being something usable, that's a part of history.
Got it.
Now, for the average consumer, might not matter to them.
Yeah, if you just need a boat, right?
Exactly. If you just need a boat, it's worth the same. But if you're someone that it really matters to, well, then it matters, don't it?
I guess so. Well, you looking to part with that?
Just curious if it was worth trading. But seeing as there's no water in the canals now, it might be sitting idle for a period of time.
Might be a little difficult to use up here.
Which I
and-
imagine makes it less interesting to you as a buyer.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I'd be happy to take this off your hands. But yeah, it's certain. I can give you a little bit for it, but it certainly isn't going to give you the equivalent of those goggles if that's what you're looking for.
Right. How much would it knock off the orb of direction?
The orb of direction?
Yeah.
No. You give me this, I'll give you the orb of direction and 20 gold on top of that.
Wow. That certainly changes the equation.
You like it enough?
Oh, what good do we have for a boat around here? And Well, at some point we're gonna leave the city and need to figure out our way home.
Very true. Very true. We'll think on it. How about?
Yeah.
We'll be
Yeah,
here
let's
later this evening if we want to come back.
I should be.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Let's let the air breathe for a little bit, and we'll think about that.
Yeah. Breathe, fight the impulse.
I'll hand him over 30 gold for the bolts.
All right. And he will pass the box over to you.
Actually, I'll make it 3 platinum specifically,
Mm.
because that is just easier inventory math.
Yay!
Well, all right. Well, this has been a pleasure doing business with you.
You too, sir.
And maybe I'll see you this evening. Maybe I won't. Otherwise, Aaron, Finn, it has been a pleasure to read beyond the cover.
Can I insight that? Is he sizing us up?
Is it just a callback joke, or is it
Yeah,
like
or-
implying something?
Yeah. I do.
You
I
can give me an insight.
Because
Please.
I had the exact same reaction. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. 13.
18.
Okay. Yeah, Aaron, you're like, all right, call back. This guy
Cool.
clearly.
He's
likes,
witty.
He likes using words.
Yeah,
and
he's on top of it.
he's very comfortable.
Yeah.
Finn, as he was saying this, there was a moment that like he made eye contact with you, and it felt like it pierced into you.
Very good. With a sly smirk, just it always is. Till next time.
All right.
And then nod my head to Aaron and peel out.
Okay. I'll follow.
The boys are gonna be excited about these dogs.
I think. I think Hutch will like them.
As you step out, Duathi and Iken. Is there anything that you would like to be doing this whole time?
Are there street meats?
I like to breathe.
Taking deep breaths of still up on the bridge. There is the wind kicks up here because it is off of the cliff. 600, well, with the height of the bridge, probably about 620, 650 feet over the water below, and the wind whips up, especially in the area where it had once been protected by buildings. They've burned down.
Yeah.
And with the sun where it is, the wind is cooling, but it's not. You're not cold.
So it's refreshing.
Duathi, there are no street meats here. It looks as though any sort of street cart vendors are not currently on the bridge. Most of the comings and goings on the bridge, a little bit is happening across the new wooden addition to the bridge, the repairs. But it seems though a lot of people are trying to avoid that. Most everyone seems to be either on your side heading down into the lower docks district or going to do work on the bridge.
I was hoping there'd be like a cart feeding workers or something.
Duathi, the ever ravenous.
Well, so now we're waiting here.
Yep. Hoping they do not make anybody mad.
Do we just stand here awkwardly, or we go to try to find something to do?
I mean, follow me. I'm just gonna
Okay.
walk us to like the edge of the bridge that is still intact, but near enough to the broken part
Sure.
to look down.
Okay.
Mm.
And I just kind of want to stare down and like, are there buildings down there?
So as you approach the edge, a wooden railing has been built to essentially give a safety line so that no one can go up and over. And looking down into the river below, give me a perception check.
What do your elven eyes see? 21.
Squints immediately.
I'm in my 30s. I can
Shade.
not.
But not too much shade. That makes it even harder.
Oh boy.
I need my cheaters. Yeah, no. 21.
As you look down over the edge, you can see the rippling of the water as the wind crests and creates little white caps. Even though there's no real tide, there is clearly a flow, and the wind seems to be pushing against the flow of the water. Beneath the ripples, you can see large chunks of brick still connected in many ways. As you were looking straight down, it almost looks as though a broken door and single window of a building are looking right back up at you.
So obedience is bondage, and death is freedom. This doesn't look very free.
I mean, none of this feels very free.
Mm-mm. You don't remember a time behind walls, right? You didn't have that where you're from.
Let's start. Is there a little rock I can start kicking?
Yeah, there's a little bit of loose stone.
No. No, I suppose not.
It doesn't feel good. I understand why it happened. It's for like everybody's protection, all that. But it's just like you go to the trouble of being the first frontier town or something, and then you just build more walls. And now we're stuck again.
I mean, walls are for safety and things, you know. It's dangerous out there.
Yeah, but look what happened.
People are dangerous too.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't think this death cult has the right idea. But they're also not totally wrong. I just think they're very much wrong in how they're doing stuff.
I mean, this isn't... I feel very much like it's not my place to say a lot of things. Especially right now.
I'm gonna take a not like a, but like a general peek around and see if we're being, how many people are around us.
Sure. Just a general look about that. The only people that are there are working on the bridge. There don't seem to be any in your immediate vicinity.
I'll still keep my voice.
Yeah.
Stage whisper.
I'm only talking so you can hear me.
Yeah. I feel sort of, all of you have been doing a very good job of giving me lots of context and providing me with lots of information about, the places you live and the way you all live and things like that. So it sort of feels, but it feels rude because I still don't have all of it, But, everyone spends a lot of time, Aaron and Finn and people have told me, oh, it's oh, you don't need to be too scared, it's okay. And, I appreciate that they're telling me that.
Do you believe them?
I believe that they are telling me their truth. But when that really loud voice started talking when we were eating dinner, but made me afraid.
Me too.
So I think it might just be a fear that they're used to.
I mean, they've lived in Ceros Manor even after the walls opened. They're used to it.
It's what it's like there. Loud voices telling you to stay inside and not be. I'm assuming that this word dissonance means things they don't like.
Things that go against the grain, that aren't harmonious with the order.
Yeah, more music metaphors. Right. Okay.
Yeah, once you find something, kind of,
Stick with it.
it helps
Yeah.
with the clarity of the message up the
it.
ranks and down the ranks.
Okay.
But do I recall any time in the 20-ish years that I was behind the walls of that kind of invasive message?
There was only one time that you can really recall, and it was the announcement of the walls opening. But it wasn't the announcement that they were going to open. It was the city-wide simultaneous announcement that the doors to the walls are at this moment opening.
Okay. It didn't happen often, but it happens for momentous occasions.
Mm-hmm.
So this is big.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's big.
It doesn't seem like it's a kind of thing that any of you, even someone like Aaron, who's been abound for a bit, seem to remember anybody ever doing anything like this. So,
If anything can be true beyond what you've already been told, the Order has a certain way of doing things. I know I'm cagey about it. But my whole family, we left because we didn't want to live behind walls. And then we built our own kind of walls, and I left again. And I met you. But I don't like being trapped like an animal. I think there's so much we don't know out here. Good stuff, interesting stuff. And I don't trust everyone in power.
you tell me that a lot. Your family didn't want to live behind the walls anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Was it because of things like this, or did your family have other reasons?
Duathi, I wish I knew.
You were very young.
I was young and I didn't...
Younger than you are now, very young.
At this point, the two of you exit.
The crew's gonna like these crossbow bolts, huh?
Ike and Dorothy were finished.
As you see them actually across the far end at the edge of the bridge, looking down. But we'll take you a few moments to get to them.
As we're kind of... sorry, you said we can see them, like,
You see
clearly,
them from
or-
the front door,
Okay.
about 60 feet from you.
Big beach.
As we approach mentally, well, that was certainly illuminating. I can't shake the feeling our cover's blown, or at least mine, but that's our man.
Precisely.
And
God, I wanted to smack him right away.
I wanted to do a lot of things. I have no idea what the right answer was, but well, I'm glad we didn't do any of this. He is going to be harder to crack.
We should discuss,
I don't think we discussed any of this outside of that safe house of yours. You
No.
said it was magically protected. Right now, the safest spots in our minds and in that house.
Agreed. Let's, I think we can... I think we should head there now.
Right.
Enjoying the view, you two?
Uh-huh. No. I mean, it's beautiful up here, but it's,
Haunting.
yeah.
Is that because we've taken the trip down the fast way? Or?
It's
I
'cause I don't
think
know who else did.
Other things definitely did too.
Yeah.
Best not to dwell on that.
Did
Holy shit, I'm not here.
Okay.
Cool.
Do we want to go back to the tire tinker?
I think there are some important things that we need to go over. So, follow me.
All right. Lead the way.
Okay.
My face is just like the colors washed out now as I'm starting to realize potentially what we've done or told or overshared. And just like dead silent.
The long journey through the city from where you are takes you better part of about a 40-minute walk.
Oof.
As you come to the end of it, you know that your hour-long connection is
Mhm.
fading.
I will just mentally reach out to Andy. Andy, we've taken a small detour. Meet us back at the Tinker tonight, sundown.
Oh, okay. Everything all right?
Everything's fine. Yes, we just we'll fill you in later. But for now, sundown, Tire Tinker.
Okay, sundown, Tire Tinker. We'll see you there. Crossing over the bridge into the very small neighborhood that includes the empty house. As you approach, it appears to the exact same as you left it.
I want to do something that I should have done last time. I will look for any sort of hidden key, like under the plant box, underneath the doormat, like somewhere hidden in the bushes, like...
Give me an investigation check.
Yeah, you know?
There's gotta
Regular
be
people
one.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's a rock. It's got a little false bottom.
Yeah.
14.
14. As you approach this this building, the rest of you see Aaron begin to search around the front door of this small, very unconspicuous house that is pushed right up against the outer wall. Aaron, you do not find a key hidden anywhere.
One moment, folks. And I will pick the lock.
All right, go ahead and pick the lock. Because of your thieves' tools at advantage,
That is going to be a soft 20.
very easily. Having done this one before,
Mm-hmm.
and now with less nerves,
Mm-hmm.
you approach and deftly the door opens.
Come on in, friends.
All right.
I stop at the doorstep and don't go in.
We good?
Dorothy, what's wrong?
Is this the house they gave you?
I'm inside the door. This was gifted to me for the brief time that we're here. I didn't even know it existed until last night.
Okay.
You said it was shielded. I'll kind of step up beside Duarte to kind of take, not your side, but give you some support on your concern. I can scope it out, detect magic in an instant, see what's going on here, see if we are protected or are being watched.
That's my question.
I hope you don't take offense, Aaron.
No, it's just a house.
Well, pal, let's find out. Just a house or something more? As I use my instant once-a-day ritual to insta-cast a detect magic.
All right. The house is glowing in abjuration.
That's a good sign. And abjuration everywhere. You aware?
Yes, it doesn't extend to the garden in the back. So,
Okay.
So privacy inside.
within the walls, no one can hear us.
I need to get a message out.
You do not go into the garden, Finn.
Okay?
Finn, give me a Arcana check.
Sure. This is the plus 10. 18.
18. In your studies, you are familiar with a particular spell that is meant to shield a location. Essentially, it blocks any sort of scrying or communication either into or out from. Typically, the spell is has a short duration, but when cast repeatedly upon the same location, becomes permanent. And the spell's Private Sanctum.
Cool.
So, I can go in, I can scope it out, but from out here, what this looks like, you know, the lead-lined box that Andy made?
Yeah.
This house is that.
For whatever's in it.
Yes.
Okay.
Can't be detected, but our communication is limited to ourselves.
Okay.
And even the people who own this house can't look at us in it?
Precisely.
So that means Andy won't be able to get a hold of us.
Okay.
That's why I told her to meet at the Tinker. In fact, oh, sorry. I told Andy to meet us at Tinker tonight so
Oh,
that we
great.
can reconvene.
Cool.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Okay.
Okay. You'll be fine inside. It's no one
No one
will know we're here.
No one's here. No one, from what I can tell, no one's spent any time here for a considerable amount of time, so we won't have any unexpected visitors.
Okay.
If you want, Dorothy, I can go in, I can check the rooms and make sure there's no surprises.
It's
I don't
okay.
know necessarily why you're concerned, other than, well, it's a magic house from unknown beyond, but,
Take 1 foot, just kind of hovers right over the threshold. And then 2 very quick steps straight inside.
well, that doesn't seem so bad, huh? I'll, follow.
Mostly it's, you know, I get the impression that we've been watched a little bit. That's sort of new for me and frightening.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and close the door, kind of, just quickly. And as I do so, can I just kind of scan? Nobody followed us here? Anybody?
Sure.
Anyone lurking?
From a brief look, it
Mhm.
doesn't appear so, but you can give me a deeper perception if you'd like.
definitely. Let's use you, friend. It's still a 13.
13. Looking about, doesn't look as though anyone's followed you. There's no one else on this side. You recall that it is this house plus 2 others that
Mhm.
create this entire section of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You don't see any movement. You don't see any lights in either of the other houses.
Okay.
I'll, peel off from Tawathi as I say, well, I certainly know that feeling of being watched, and if it's any peace of mind, this is the first time I've felt safe from prying eyes in quite some time. But I'll break off then and kind of use the detect magic to scan the entire abode for any other magic or any other surprises.
Sure. As you're looking about, it is just the single abjuration magic, but it is the entirety of the house. However, as you were looking through, looking into the backyard that is almost a small garden or courtyard that still has a pretty high wall. So it is pushed right up against the outer wall itself. And to the left of it, it leads to what looks like a small stable. To the right is a large stone wall that then is flush with the front of the building. So it is open air above, but
Enclosed.
purely, entirely enclosed. But it is not subject to this abjuration magic.
No other magic out there, though.
None that you see.
Seems to be pretty safe here. At least inside the walls.
Okay.
We found our man.
It's him?
100%.
100%. You heard the voice, right?
Absolutely. Like it was yesterday.
So what do we do? Report him to the order? Do we...
I think it's more complicated than that. He seems to have a tight connection with the order, and it's our word versus his. I don't want to go there yet. We didn't play the big cards,
Nor do we press him too hard on what we know.
but I'm not sure he bought our naivete.
You
I
don't
felt fine.
look naive.
That's actually the first time I've heard that.
You've got book smarts.
That's more like it.
Yeah.
Man, why's everybody on books today?
Regardless, his security will be heightened. He will be looking over his shoulder more often. But Icon's question does ring true. What do we do now?
I wish Andy was here.
She's not, so what are we going to do?
I really want to get a message out. You're worried about the courtyard?
I think it's in your best interest if you don't go back there.
Why?
Why?
You've, I'm sure, clocked that the courtyard is open to inspection,
Well, it's certainly not protected, same way the house is.
so you're vulnerable in the courtyard while here, and if anybody was assessing our whereabouts today,
We'd be just as vulnerable on the front stoop.
precisely.
So, well, if I'm going to send a message, I'd rather do it back there.
Just keep Pal hidden, is what I'm saying.
I see.
Do your bosses need to know that we found him?
My friend will know what to do.
Okay.
Your friend?
My mentor, my boss is the wrong word.
Your maester, like...
Yeah, Jovic.
Okay.
The guy who sent the nice tea.
Oh,
This is a new development, and well, I feel like I need to leave the city sooner rather than later. If anybody can get us out, it's them.
We're gonna leave the city with him still in it?
Look, I don't think he was going to give us the information we were looking for.
Okay.
There are ways to get him to turn himself in.
What do you mean?
There are ways of convincing him that it's in his best interest to turn himself in.
I hope you don't mean like convincing somebody to do a backflip off a desk. Means
No,
Finn's right.
more coordinated ways.
is that necessarily either of your jobs, or is that going to be you tell your bosses and then they do something? I don't.
gathering information, items, and bringing it back. That's our job.
And you? Is that your job?
This is the man who is responsible for the destruction of the city, possibly, for the
Maybe.
contraband that we found
I want
that
to
started
think-
all this off. This is the man that we have to apprehend.
Yeah.
I know. I guess
get
I'm
that.
just saying is that what you are going to do, or is someone else going to do it?
There are people far better suited for apprehending dangerous criminals
Yes.
or
And they're already in the city.
Do you think he is involved in any of the other things that we saw, like the dead things on the boat, or the explosions, or the city, or do you just think he's to do with the?
All right, pal. It's I think it's time to start working some of this stuff out, and I'll.
Prepare check.
Is there a room with a big open wall anywhere?
Yes.
Many of them.
Let's Pepe Sylvia this.
Yeah, you've got lots of open walls at this point.
Cool. Making sure the curtains are drawn and there's no way to see what we're doing from the outside here. I will pull out Pal and grab the quill and then pass it off to the mage hand as I flip open Pal, and then you know what? Do we even need to do this way anymore, Pal? And I'll close the book. And Pal, did you hear anything in there? And I haven't manifested it. I'm curious if Pal can respond, unmanifest it.
Ooh.
Me too.
What an interesting question.
I've been like holding tension in my knees this entire time. just hold on here.
Why?
Why? Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but I want to double check.
Sure.
Oh my goodness. This music's so chill.
I
am
know. I'm drinking it in. I'm like, oh.
not. Breathe with the music.
My heart
Breathe
says
with
battle
the
music.
Yes.
No. If you're looking to feel like you too are safe in your house, go check out Sanctuary by
Oh my
Kendrick
god, I was
Candles.
also thinking that scent. It's so good.
What would,
Champa,
what would-
ginger.
What would Calder's shop smell like?
I mean, that's adventures important.
Yeah.
with
like-
the leather furniture.
Yeah.
Pal does not answer.
All right. Well then, Pal, how would you like to see our work for the first time? As I then expend a spell slot to manifest again.
As Pal's face manifests.
And I'll just kind of gesture my hand so Pal kind of can float up kind of close to my eye level. And as I send the mage hand and the quill to begin the work, laying out the details and facts in this web of information that Pal and I have been building together throughout this journey, I point things out more to Pal than to the group, but it is pretty clearly meant for everybody. Here is what we already knew before today. Rivers meet. There was an attack. We were sent to find the contraband, and Aaron led us to a place where that contraband had misfired. The person had been investigating Silas,
Right.
presumably evaporated. The note left behind, just the scrap of the note, and I'll actually flip through the notebook and I'll hold it up against the wall and stick a knife in, so it's
Oh.
becoming part of this web of information.
Okay.
L. Today we verified for sure. We don't know that this L is our lock Calder, but what we did verify, and I like kind of pivot, and the quill and
Yeah.
the ink just like webs out almost on its own as the quill like spirals, but the ink almost grows and walks and crawls across the wall,
Okay.
connecting verbs and nouns with dotted lines. Over here we have the overseer of River's Meat, and we have his 2 crates.
Yeah.
The voice in the crate, the one with the crackerjack, damn near identical to Locke.
Okay.
Okay.
So, we know for sure Locke Calder sent those crates to the overseer.
And we know he was specifically sending at least the ale.
At least. And we also verified that he did, in fact, send the ale to the party last night.
Yes.
So, that... You've heard me say it before, correlation is not causation, but that leads me to think RL on this note is almost certainly Locke.
Which means that the overseer and River's Meat and Lark Calder are both trafficking in things that maybe they should not.
Do you think the crackerjack was meant for the overseer?
I don't know, ultimately. And then I kind of direct Pal and everybody's gaze to the left side of the wall, as there we have, like, 2 different categories. We have Overseer's intent, and we have Dr. Sada. And the line starts connecting, and I just wipe my hand and disconnect it. Dr. Sada, we do not know how she fits into any of this. Could be entirely unrelated. The zombies, the attack, could be entirely unrelated. The crackerjack being inside that box, this is just a guess, an educated guess, but I suspect it wasn't meant as an attack to the overseer. I think the overseer wanted to get his hands on it.
They're both collectors.
It was
Yeah.
also in there very safe, like, oh, I'm not going to explode.
That case was specifically designed to hide something. Locke certainly seems like the type of guy to...
And if I understand the Silver Palm correctly, if those cases were under their protection on the Fairbanks, there's no way anybody could have slipped in the crackerjack on the ship and,
Right.
and modified the box in that way. So
My impression, and I may be wrong here again, but I don't even think the Silver Palm checks the insides of the boxes.
Why would they? If the
Privacy-
less they know,
Right.
the better for them.
Exactly. So I then point to the Silver Palm, another floating disconnected piece on the opposite wall with Venture now, and pieces of Venture starting to like branch together as this web continues to like grow out. The Silver Palm certainly seems to have some shady goings-ons. Again, we can't make that connection just yet. But Locke Calder, whether he had anything to do with the attacks on Venture, and I just like, without even looking, point behind me, or the attack on the boat that caused it to crash and the crew to turn, he is certainly dealing in illicit goods, and he is pretty damn good at covering up that.
If I had to make a guess, once again, it's a guess. But I wonder if the creatures on the boat and the people who blew up the city are connected.
that's my inkling. I think the circumstances overlap. People who the Dark Beacon and Dr. Sada were corroborating on some sort of fabrication of themselves. Perhaps Dr. Sada and the Overseer were corroborating on some sort of energy source for whatever modifications they're providing. However, it's still a far-fetched theory.
I can't seem to find any logical connection between those organic metallic creatures, Dr. Sada's intent, and the rest of all of this, other than the creatures turning on that same boat carrying the illicit goods.
Yes.
But this is a concern, and I hope I'm wrong here. As a dotted line now, we have the attacks on Venture connected to Death Cult,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
And in between those two things, Lady Elaine.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then that, and my eyes just kind of like, I don't want to believe it, as I'd send the quill to connect Lady Elaine to Lark Calder.
She's connected to all of this. And I asked her why she'd be the target of this. She was really clear in her delivery. She didn't seem to understand why.
You believe that?
I want to. But there was just a couple of moments where I felt just a darkness enter her voice. She knows more than what she's letting on. She's a damn good storyteller. But when I pull out the kerchief with the black rose on it, and then I pull out the tooth that I pulled from the Dark Beacon guy. Does this look like anything that Dr. Sada was working on? And I'll give you the tooth. I don't know if it has mechanism. I don't care.
I take it gingerly and take a look. Do I recognize it from anything, any of the drawings inside the shop, or anything I saw on her?
Give me. I'm gonna call this a medicine check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will be open to other suggestions, though.
Can you remind me how heroic inspiration works? I can roll that after I make
You
the first
can
roll?
use it to re-roll one
Okay.
roll, as long as you have it.
Speaking of, and before I also pull Sada's journal and kind of set it on a table or shelf or counter nearby in the Sada quadrant. Here's the medicine check.
You've got Sada's journal, and you've been going through it. You can do this at advantage.
There we go.
That's a soft 20.
Okay. You've been poring over this journal. You've seen the sketches, the drawings, and you have had the... It's been a while since you've looked at it, but you have been up close and personal with these creatures.
The collars.
The collars, the...
The tooth itself, it's by no means the same material as like the creatures themselves. It's a lot more dull, whereas the creatures were almost polished. How much time did you have with the collars?
With the collars, I mean, it was like eating away at the necks, and we didn't really have time to save anything. I think the walk that you tried to do.
Yeah, I tried to do some stuff with them. We probably had about, I mean, through the fight and after that, I would guess about 18
It
seconds.
would be hard to be able to connect like the same maker, the
What
same...
about the smell and the sound of the acid eating through flesh?
The effect.
With the medicine check.
Soft 20 on the medicine check?
Yeah.
You couldn't confirm it, but that's a dotted line connection in your map.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty damning. I don't know how I didn't put that together sooner. Thank you.
Well-
Is this still dangerous?
Yeah, that one is still whole. I thought about we could use it if we needed to. It's kind of gross to think about putting it in somebody else's mouth, and I thought about it. I know that's dark.
Yeah.
I never saw this side of you before.
I'm resourceful. I don't like that I thought about it, but I did think about it. There's another dotted line. Because we saw Dr. Sada disappear with another figure out near the edge of the wood.
Right. Yeah.
You saw Corin Mall go through a tree?
That I do believe was a very different means of
Do you?
transportation.
Okay. That makes me feel a little better.
Pretty sure Sada was hard teleported out, not a travel through a dead tree or anything like that.
Okay.
I have another thing. Maybe what this one's a big maybe.
Let's get it all on the board, huh?
So remember when we were fighting the spiders, right? And there was like we found, how something sort of, shed their skin, grow bigger, and we found that one shedded skin, and then it had become that spider that was completely different, right?
Right.
The surprider.
The surprider. And it was in the same area where those dogs were, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we think that the spines from the dogs hit the people on the boats, and that's how they got sick, right? What if it's something about there?
The location.
Well, remember when we were talking to those people with the other metal dog? And they said
Yeah.
there were monsters out there, things that had changed.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Up near Andy's hometown.
If it's like that, and maybe it's something about, I know it's gonna sound weird, but that's a big, powerful thing, right? On that boat.
Yeah.
What if, I'm making a jump, but what if it could like feel it or something? What if it changed things? What if that much power, that much energy sort of interacted with something else? I don't know. I'm guessing at that point.
Or was it wrong place at the wrong time? But
I don't know.
the captain, I don't know if it's up on the wall anyway. The captain had tied themselves to
Right, and then
the
I'll kind of like
steering wheel.
pivot over to the reverse meet and the boat crash, and then the technical drawings I took into my journal of the damage to the ship and the abrasions on the wrist. Like all of those technical drawings now manifest themselves on the wall as like scaled up versions. It's Duarte, it's a compelling hypothesis. It's certainly something that would need testing to verify, and I don't know how we do that safely.
But I do feel as though, at the very least, the dogs and the spiders and things, I think that
I don't think
Anyway.
that was the first time when we brought news of that to Dr. Sada. I don't think that's the first time she ever saw one of these creatures.
After what we've learned, probably not. But she did seem genuinely excited to.
I don't get that they're very common close to town. We're near the safer areas, far from the prowling fields. You'd have to risk your life to go find something, and this just fell into her lap, basically.
All right, then another hypothesis is Sada was excited to have this brought to her. She was familiar, but hadn't got hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a pretty safe conclusion, though, that the dock back in, definitely a connection between Sada, the cultist, and that then connects back to Elaine again.
but she had something that they wanted, information that they wanted. It's just what on. And whatever it is, whether she has good intentions or not, she very clearly doesn't want to tell other people.
She's in a line of work that discretion is advised.
It could be then that it's not necessarily her, but
She knows.
something that she knows about someone else.
She didn't seem surprised when I was talking about the second incident with the Dark Beacon.
Like, just unfazed, nonplussed, jaded kind of thing, or...
Interested, but not like shocked.
She did also seem oddly calm about the whole being a target of the attacks on the boat, and you said she was still calm about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the one good thing is she's clearly being targeted by the Dark Beacon, not working with them. But I think we need more information, and it'll be a lot easier to get it out of her than
How much more
Locke.
information do we need? We
Well-
need to, by all means, Finn. We've done a wonderful amount of observation and research, but something needs to be done before anything else happens.
What are we gonna do? Waltz into Lord Janob's estate and say, "Hey, Lady Elaine."
No, but they need to
Come
know
with
that
us.
someone else is aware of all of this.
Absolutely. And there's one person I trust to share that
Yeah.
information with. Lockhart said he has the order on speed dial. And something tells me he's not bluffing there.
No.
He's connected to overseers, he's connected to the prosperous in this town. He's connected to the order, and whether or not the order know what he's doing, I don't trust our collective word against his, especially when we're the ones carrying contraband in multiple forms. You're not wrong, Aaron. We do have enough to report this.
Scott,
Mm-hmm.
based on the message I received in the courtyard last night, would I have the authority to apprehend someone?
This has been what I've been wondering.
Do you?
It is.
Or was I given explicit instruction not to? In the be discreet line.
Yeah. These two things are very different.
Would that deter me from apprehending Lark, based on what Finn just laid out and based on the interaction I just had?
I am going to text you.
For sure.
Oh God.
We've reached this part of the campaign, and Scott just starts texting us things. And we're like, oh.
And then and then the VOD, you make funny faces. So. Ugh.
Look, to the authorities, I worry this all looks like very loosely drawn connections, and
I mean, you keep saying that he can call the order at any time, but isn't that what both of you can do?
Precisely, Finn. I don't think that's a win in his ticket.
why not?
I
If his
think-
shop is clean, he made it pretty clear that that's his MO there. If I was trading in illicit contraband, I certainly wouldn't keep it in my public-facing shop. If the order came to investigate, he'd probably come up clean.
I guess
We're the ones carrying it.
that's sort of, I guess, what I was asking about is if it's, and that's what I meant by if it's your jobs.
It's certainly not my job to take him down.
Right. Okay.
Is it the people who are here? The people who shut down the city? Is it their jobs?
I think if anybody has the authority to do that, it would be them.
They would do it swiftly, quickly, but they're here looking for something else.
And we don't have a direct connection between Locke Calder and the Dark
And the Dark
Beacon,
Beacon.
or necessarily even the attacks.
It might just be two things happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which, our luck, yeah.
Do I get a sense of, based on the radius of the explosion in Silas's warehouse,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like a sense of the impression made by the item that exploded, that we saw in the box, and the size of the Cracker Jack I'm carrying, what is the magnitude required to cause the scale of damage to the city? Like, is the thing I'm carrying anywhere close to that kind of firepower?
This is the thing I've been wondering.
Just
too.
a rough, like, I'm sure I don't have the specifics. But
Sure. I would say the connections that you are able to make based on everything that has happened is it's very likely that the initial explosion was something of similar size to what you're currently carrying. which
The initial Silas explosion, or the initial one in the city here.
well, that would be your guess because the thing that you have has not gone off.
Haha. Good thing.
So you don't know exactly its capability, but
Back to
you
testing the hypothesis being dangerous.
you do know that the explosions that happened in the city were far more destructive than what happened in Silas's warehouse. But you don't know what was used in the city, and you don't know how big that the thing that was at Silas's warehouse was.
Right.
Okay, so his shop was spared from this explosion. Is that convenient for him? It cuts off any of the fires that are happening on the other side from reaching further down the bridge. But what else does it buy him?
If he knew this was coming, he could have cleared anything valuable out of that shop.
Yeah.
If he's able
Was
to
he
connect
there?
No. He claims he was elsewhere. And
It was
I
late.
can confirm that nobody else was in there when I was in there.
So,
It was very late, and I don't know how much control an explosion like that has. Would he be able to, be like, hey, do an explosion, but missed my shop by this much? Like,
I think he's an educated man. If that was something that that he wanted to coordinate, I think it could be possible, though, again, they might be completely unrelated, and he is in the good graces that he honestly didn't lose much.
Aaron, you're probably a better judge of character than me, but nothing about his demeanor gave me the impression that he necessarily was... How do I put this? Just because he supplied the weapon doesn't mean he was involved in its usage.
He gains plausible deniability by providing somebody with something dangerous and not wanting to deal with it. If you have something illicit, you don't want to be associated with it. You sell it to the first buyer who's interested. So yes, there is a possibility that whatever the intentions were with the core shard, he was unaware of. Regardless, he's still guilty of the trade.
Well, suspected guilty. Again,
it's hard to say.
we can tie him back to Silas's warehouse, we can tie him back to the Overseer. We still can't tie him to this attack, necessarily.
What we can't tie him to is really anything but people.
Yeah.
His absence is the more notable thing. His absence at the party, his absence at the shop, his absence in any of these dealings that get made. It's a pretty good way to keep her nose clean. You are missing some dotted lines.
Help me fill this in.
The 5 of us are now connected to every single one of these pieces. And as much as we want to just observe it, we're part of it now.
And that's what I worry about with the Order. Disentangling ourselves from this web of narrative.
We have the truth.
We have the truth. You all work adjacently or for or close enough to the Order in different aspects.
Well, we saw how close the truth got us to prison back in Riversmeet.
Some of us close to prison back in Riversmeet, Finn. We reach out to your guy. You trust him, that's all we've got.
I want to believe the Order can make this right. I don't think the Law Keepers can make this right, but I do trust Jovic, and I don't trust the Order. Aaron, I'm not trying to imply anything here, and do you think that your contacts should know about all of this.
Yeah, that's my question too.
I think they already know some of it. I'll kind of just peer back to the direction of the bridge and the rest of the city. I called the deacons here, I believe.
Oh, that kind of makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
So,
Is this curfew brought down by you then? Or by them, I suppose?
by them.
I'm not pointing blame here, just trying to connect the dots.
No. But due to the sincerity of the confrontation with Corin Mall and the destruction in the city, I thought it important to alert the order that desperate help was needed. And so they acted swiftly. I think they're doing the right thing.
I will not question your judgment, friend.
You asked me a long time ago, Dorothy, what I'm doing out here. I think you've pieced things quite together, quite well. But I am to be eyes and ears for the Order, outside the walls.
For what purpose? Just, hey y'all, this is what's happening in the frontier towns.
To try and anticipate things like this from happening.
You think Locke's speed dial similar to yours? That method?
I think he was bluffing on that. I think he tells people that so that they believe somebody powerful is standing behind him and that he is in the good graces of those in charge. But based on his behavior and his actions, it could very well be a lie.
Everything he said could very well be a lie. He's clearly the salesman. If nothing else. I'm afraid that, well, we played it coy, maybe a little too coy, and I'm afraid we tipped our hand a bit too much. And if he is as dangerous as all of this, I gesture to the web around, well, now, either he suspects he's under surveillance or there's going to be a target on either of our backs.
Yeah.
Carrying this, I pat the Cracker Jack box on my hip. And this, and I pat Pal, who is now, Pal's still up here, but the book is closed in my hand. Well, this is certainly something I don't want to be caught dead with, without the lawkeeper's backing. And I'm feeling less and less safe in this city.
I mean, definitely.
Dorothy?
Oh, this is a lot.
I know. Yeah. I don't mean to pry, Dorothy. You've certainly been private, and I respect that. When I bumped into you in a hall yesterday, you seemed rattled, and well, you haven't really been the same since. Are you okay? Before we call anybody.
I'm not really used to the idea of being watched. It seems to me that it is a thing that you are all sort of aware of, that things get watched. That's not a thing I've ever really had to think about, and
I mean, you know, in Rivers Meet, we've talked about it a few times today, but being someone who didn't know how any of this works almost got me in some trouble. I'm afraid that I am different, and I just don't want to get in trouble, you know?
Yeah, I get it. I think growing up in the cities, you definitely get used to having eyes on you all times. It's hard to escape them. Solitude's a rare thing, especially Melos Machina. I mean, this is nothing. But there's nothing illegal about being different, Duati. You are not the contraband.
Different doesn't necessarily mean illegal, but it doesn't mean safe.
So,
I mean, I think you're fine. I don't think anybody's gonna clock you right away. But I don't think any one of us, is truly safe
I agree with that.
anymore. We're all associated.
And right now, I want nothing more than to run behind the safety of the walls of Melos Machina, and I see how hypocritical that is, running right back into the headquarters of the Order, right back into the place I desperately wanted to escape my whole life, and I don't even know if this is homesickness, or then just fear.
It can be both. But Duathi, no matter what, I'll protect you. And if you need to hide, hide. But I think there are bigger issues probably than pale looking elf. I just do like a side squeeze.
You certainly blend in better now in that than I do anywhere.
I thought it might help.
Yeah, I think it does.
I think we should all maybe take a lesson from Duathi as we start poking things.
Yeah, I'm certainly regretting walking in there with my first name and this.
Your bright white coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that still, you're gonna talk to your maester,
I'm going to talk to my friends.
your mentor.
I'm going to talk to you first, and we're going to come up with a plan together. If I send a message, I want it approved by the group.
Right.
Because, again, no judgment here, friend, but I don't want to do anything that would make you feel less safe, or could further tip our hands. And I do trust him. I do trust Jovic. I don't even know what to ask him for. Safe travel home. Great, then what?
I mean, do you think it's so much to just say, to give us an alibi?
It could.
Like, hey, we found X, Y, and Z.
It can't hurt to have the Lockkeepers and Conservators and the whole might of the Aethergog in our corner.
Because they deal in knowledge, right? Like, that's their thing.
Yeah, and we were sent out here to do something specific, and we were sent out here to connect with you, and look, corruption runs rampant everywhere. We see it in the jogs, we see it in the Overseer's house, we see it in these little frontier towns, and I saw it all my life growing up. I do not mean to imply, though, the Order as a whole, the intent behind it, it's not all tainted. We just need to be careful about who and what we share. Jovic will back us. I believe your friends will back us too.
Yes, undoubtedly.
I do not think that Locke's friends will give us the same benefit of the doubt.
Not 1 ounce.
So,
We need to get more information. I have ways that we can try to get more truthful answers. But it's not something that they don't know is happening.
I've been working on something, Finn, and I think it might actually work to our benefit. I'll pull out my spell book. I've been iterating on a spell that I haven't yet implemented, but sometimes you need to be very persuasive. Sometimes you need the song to play a melody that you want to hear. And I'll kind of flip to a certain arrangement of the pages and the glyphs. If we want Locke to tell us about his operation, I can make it happen. If we want Lady Lane to fill us in and to give her side of everything that she knows about the Dark Beacon, I can make it happen.
how? Obviously magic, I get it, but
I found a way to weave my parents' teachings together. The right string of words, the right incantations, coupled with my ability to sing my own songs, I can get them to say exactly what we want them to say. I fear it would be blasphemous to take the Songbearer's will from others. But if we want to put an end to this, it might need to happen.
So we have a couple of options. Let's see what Jovic says if you're comfortable bringing him in on this.
My one caveat is that I'm only confident it can happen today. I don't know what will happen tomorrow.
right. Well, if only I was more confident today in the conclusions we're drawing here. I'm gonna leave this all up. If you have any other threads to connect.
Yeah.
And I pass over the quill to Icon, and I pull out just a regular old quill, and an actual inkwell, because I have to use that for a regular quill, like a peasant. And just pull a loose sheet of parchment out of my pack, and begin just like scrawling out drafts of a message, trying to refine it down, pack in as much information as possible. And you hear me occasionally talking to Pal, asking for input, asking for like how we can maybe tighten this up. You obviously don't have the answers.
Mm-hmm.
As you hear him saying this, Pal, who is mostly looking at the web, will then occasionally turn, not fully look, but as if talking, to have the voice go in that direction, and then look back up.
Yeah, this'll get normal.
Dorothy, would you like to be outside for a moment?
I thought that it was not safe to go outside.
It's not safe for Finn to go outside.
I think if it's not safe for Finn to go outside, it's probably not safe for me to go outside.
You're not carrying a book.
It doesn't mean I want someone to see me.
It's there if you want it, but sorry if I gave you the wrong impression.
I don't think you did.
I think I'll kind of retreat from the group and kind of walk back to the courtyard.
Sure.
Just kind of sit underneath a tree. I'll start writing in the very back of my spell book. Not necessarily like working on any specific spells, but just kind of free writing, just stream of consciousness, trying to unpack everything that we just divulged to each other.
Need a second.
Sure. Take your time.
I don't have an actual AI assistant here to grab.
Now, I was listening, but also not in the way where I took notes because I hadn't been there. So now that I am here, how many rooms are in this house?
Sure. So from where you were standing, there's the main room, and you see two or three doors that lead to interior rooms, and 2 doors leading to the outside. One leading to the courtyard, one leading to the front.
Okay.
The other doors are closed and unexplored.
All one level.
All one level.
I'm going to turn away from the group. And as I do, I also will cast Detect Magic.
I'm sure by now mine's worn off.
What level are you? You level 1, you are, yay.
Yeah.
I also will cast Detect Magic. And I'm just going to use the spell slot.
Okay.
Just going to use it.
The house immediately glows abjuration.
I'm just going to take a really quick glance out into the courtyard. Do I see anything? out
Popping
in
your
the
head
courtyard?
into the courtyard, you see nothing. You see the walls of the house still glowing. To the left, you see the area that leads in. It's like an open area into a stable, and though it is technically an opened wall, like a half-tall fence, it is still glowing.
Okay.
But the courtyard itself is unaffected by this spell.
Then I'd like to walk down the hall and just sort of look at the rooms.
Sure. The first room that you peer into seems to be a small bedroom, single bed resting in there. To the right, looks like a little wardrobe. The second room looks like a small workshop or a space that is open enough to work, but also open enough to be a little storehouse, a multi-purpose room.
Okay.
That's about 20 feet wide by 10 feet.
So much room for activities. You got it. Okay.
The last door, as you open it up, leads into the stable area. So it is an inner door that then leads to this covered
Area.
but still somewhat open to the elements stable. You're able to then see an area that looks it's 10 feet by 10 feet, large enough
Okay.
for maybe a horse and a cart,
Right.
at least a small cart. Has a large stable door that is closed, and then the half door that leads into the courtyard. A similar half door leads into this little antechamber that is the difference between the stable and the house itself.
Okay.
All of it is still glowing with this abjuration, and there is no other magic.
Well, I think we're just using spell slots today, kids. I don't think I'm probably going to take the full 11 minutes. But I am going to take the 1 minute. I'm going to go into the multi-purpose room,
Sure.
and I'm going to pull out my bones
Mm-hmm.
and sit down for about 60 seconds and using this spell slot this time. I'm going to cast Augury
Okay.
for the first time today. And as I sit there sort of mulling them, from one hand to the other, I'd like to sort of just ask, am I safe in this house?
Okay. As you tilt them from one hand to the other, they hit the ground. The bones seem to fold together and create almost a little pyramid. Almost looks like a little tent of the bones resting against each other. and the last bone, as it falls, hits the roof of the tent. And it shortens slightly, but rather than crumble, the bone then falls, hits the floor, and then bounces in underneath. You take this as a good sign.
I sit for a few more moments and just take a few deep breaths. Okay. And gather up my bones, the back of the bag, and head back out towards everyone.
As you step back out,
I think I've got something. I'm not sure if I'm asking for the right thing, so let me know what you think before I send. I don't need to address. He'll know it's from me. All right. So just imagine the dear Jovic as it enters his head. I'm sure you've heard of attack on Venture, harboring dangerous information, yet deadly unawares. We must return with haste. Uncertain of safety under citywide curfew.
I mean, he's your friend, but it sounds like it's got a lot of information in it.
I wish Andy was here.
She's not gone,
I know.
but I know that she knows your teachers and friends better than any of us do.
She's my partner.
The strength of a
Jovic.
partner is also when you're apart.
I know. Just the last time I messaged Jovic, all he told me to do was trust her. And I do. Well, hopefully she trusts that this is the right call. As I hold Pal and just almost like I'm praying over a Bible this time and just close my eyes. And Pal's still manifested, but kind of not sure what that would look like. All right, Pal. We gotta make this one count.
and as you take your breath, holding onto this book, eyes closed, the rest of you see, as he says, "Pal, we have to make this one count." The face that had been watching the web turns, hovering above Finn's head, staring out at the rest of you, as Finn is staring with his eyes closed. And as you take your breath for your message, we are going to end tonight's episode.
Yeah. I felt it coming.
All right, everyone.
God.
We are going to be back next week to pick back up right at this exact moment.
Send blood pressure medicine.
For those of you who would like to watch us take a deep breath after this, we're going to head on over for a post-show hangout. Thank you all so very much for being here. If you've been enjoying this, please consider the like, the follow, all those buzzwords. If you would like to support the channel, you can give to us, subscribe on Twitch, you can become a member on YouTube, or you can head on over to our Patreon. For those of you who are already supporting, we're going to head over to our Discord. We will see you there. For everyone else, have a wonderful week. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.